Happy Wonder Wednesday. I'm wondering what you know about Indigenous people. Since November is Indigenous Peoples Heritage Month, I figured we can learn more together.
When I have a worry-filled mind, I like to wander outside. No telling what we might find. Birds calling, worms crawling, leaves falling down from above. Oh, I plant my feet on the ground. I keep my head in the clouds. I let my feelings out loud. I hear joy calling, fear crawling, tears falling down out of love.
Hi friends, I'm really glad you're here with me. Let's start by listening to our body and doing a zone check-in. Your body is sending you messages throughout the entire day, and so I'd like you to listen right now and figure out what type of messages it's sending you. Is it feeling really heavy or tired or slow moving? Then you're in the blue zone. Is it feeling ready to go, comfortable? You're in the green zone. Is it feeling distracted, confused? Then you're in the yellow zone. Or is it feeling really tense or tight? Then you might be in the red zone. Think for a minute about what messages your body is sending, and then find an object nearby that matches the color zone that you're in. I'll do the same. Once you've found that object, see if you can use your words to describe why you think you're in that zone. For example, I have a yellow wiki stick here, and I'm in the yellow zone because my fall allergies are making my nose a little stuffed and distracting my brain a bit. And so I'm in the yellow zone because I'm feeling a little distracted. What about you? Oh, thanks so much for sharing. Just a reminder, there are no good zones or bad zones. Zones are really just here to help us communicate with others and even ourselves how we're feeling in the moment. And you can change color zones from minute to minute. So I may be feeling in the yellow zone right now, a bit distracted, but I suspect after we do some exercises with our date that I'll actually start moving toward the green zone and feeling more clear-headed or focused. There are lots of different tools and strategies that we can try if we want to move from zone to zone. Some of those we've practiced together, like breathing, like moving, like being mindful. There are also lots of other tools and strategies you can use. Let your grown-ups know that if they follow me on Instagram and subscribe here onto my YouTube channel, that we can talk about more strategies and tools together. I also share many tips and resources on my Patreon if they'd like to check that out and support me through there. As I mentioned, we have a date exercise to do, and I wanted to check in with Fig because they actually have our first move today. Our date is 11/17/21, or November 17th, 2021, and Fig is showing us that the move that we will do 11 of. Fig, is it okay if I bring you over? Okay, look at the shape of their body. They have one leg and knee up, one elbow coming down to touch it, and their other leg is straight and their other arm is straight. So it looks like they are doing knee to elbow touches. Fig, are we right? Okay, great. So we are going to stand up if we're able. If you're not able or you don't feel like standing right now, that's okay. You can do these sitting as well. I think that for my body, it feels a bit more of a workout if I stand, so that's how I'll be doing them today. Let's do 11 elbow and knee touches. I'm going to alternate, so my elbow on my right arm will touch my left knee, and then I'll switch. Let's do 11 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Nice work. Thanks, Vic, for that suggestion. For our 17 moves, I thought we could do something that is a great option for those of us who need to stay seated. Again, you can do this standing up if you'd like, but it's a good one to do while sitting down as well. Let's stick out our arms nice and wide, and we're going to make circles with our hands. We'll do arm circles here. You can do them at the same time. You can do them backwards. You can go one and then the other, however feels best for you. Let's do 17 arm circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now, our final move. Again, I think you get a better workout if you're standing up. So if you'd like to stand with me, feel free. But you can also do this sitting. We're going to do some air punches. But we are going to punch one arm kind of across our body and stick out our leg. And then we'll do the other arm and the other leg. Right? So you can do this sitting or standing, but at least for me, my heart goes a little faster if I'm standing up. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, almost there, 18, 19, 20, 21. Maybe you want to cool down and settle in with me. Listen for our bell, and we'll do 3 breaths. Big belly breaths, so fill it up with as much air as you can, and then slowly let it out. Ready? One more. Awesome. Thank you for cooling down with me after our date workout today. Earlier I mentioned that it is Indigenous Peoples Heritage Month, and we've talked about Native American and Indigenous people in the past. We've learned about some incredible, creative, and courageous people. And today, I'd like to talk more about Indigenous history, inventions, practices, and people that are doing amazing things right now. Let's check out our message to learn a bit more. As always, there may be some alliterations hiding in here, words that start with the same sound or letters, so be on the lookout. Dear fabulous friends, November is a great time for us to learn more about Indigenous and Native people, their history and contributions. Many of us use or interact with lots of things that Indigenous folks have created, discovered, or mastered over thousands of years. There are things that help heal or protect us, like sunscreen, allow us to play sports, like lacrosse, and teach us how to work with the wonderful earth and take good care of her. I'm grateful for all the ways that Indigenous people persist, even when others have tried and continue to try to silence or stop them. May we all be encouraged and inspired by the patience, participation, and perseverance of Indigenous people. Love, Mrs. A. Now, before we put away our message, I think you friends know about patience. We've been talking about that a lot this month. What about this word participation? Are you familiar with that one? It's okay if you don't know it yet. Participation means to be involved and to do something. Usually, when you participate in a class, you might share your thinking or offer to give an example. And when I think about how Indigenous people participate, I'm thinking about in their communities, in advocacy, meaning in work to help save our earth or to help get attention to people in need. And then this other P word, perseverance. Have you heard of that one before? It means to keep going, to not give up or quit, even when things are really, really difficult. And unfortunately, for Native American and Indigenous people, things have been really, really difficult because of people coming to their land. People called colonizers. We talked a little bit about this earlier in the month, but if you go into someone's space without asking and kick them out and limit things they can do or resources like food and internet that they can have, it's going to be really tricky for them to be able to overcome those challenges. They're going to have to work a lot harder than most people. And so I'm really inspired and encouraged by Indigenous people's patience, Indigenous people's participation or engagement and involvement, and their perseverance. Now, as I mentioned, I do have some wonderful books to share with you, and they all offer us a little bit of different information. This first one really connects with our message, and it is called A Native American Thought of It: Amazing Inventions and Innovations. It's written by Rocky Landon with David MacDonald. They collaborated or worked together on it. And I'm just going to show you a few pages, but as I was reading this and learning, I thought, wow, there are so many things that Native American or Indigenous people have discovered or designed and created, and like I mentioned, mastered over thousands of years. And we get to benefit now because they're things we use and things that are a part of our lives all the time. Here's one, and it's all about clothing. Now, I'm not going to read every part on this page, but there are some bits of information that might be really connected to things that you use or think about regularly. So, for example, down here it says dyes. Native American people across North America developed dyes to add color to their clothing. So I'm wondering, do you have any colors on your clothes? My clothes are a little bit purpley and blue today. And yeah, there are many flowers that can make those colors. And Native American people used lots of wild materials, lots of flowers, lots of tree bark, lots of things in nature to make dyes. They made so many different colors: light blue, dark blue, yellow, red, brown. And in this section alone, it can tell you a lot more, but on this entire page, there are many other things about clothes that Native Americans have either designed or discovered. On this page, I found another interesting thing. This page is all about medicine and healing, and it says, Native peoples developed many different ways to stay healthy and treat illness. Some people became experts at this. We might call them doctors, but they had doctors as well. They knew which plants could be helpful for certain illnesses. They also knew what to do for various injuries, such as a broken bone. Communities relied on these experts for help with their medical problems. And as you look at this page, you might see some more plants, which I think is so fascinating because our earth has so many gifts. And we've talked about abundance before, meaning that it is freely given to us. And they can help us, different plants and different flowers again and trees. They can help us with so many problems. For example, pine trees. They can be used to treat sore throats or coughs. Strawberries, like leaves and roots, can help if we have a fever, an upset stomach, or trouble with our gums and our teeth. There are so many other examples here of how plants can be used to help us. And then down at the bottom, it talks about how Native Americans had developed sunscreens, and we actually still use ingredients in our sunscreens today that they discovered thousands of years ago. And finally, I think many of you might have a connection here. This is in a transportation part of the book. I noticed this picture of a toboggan, and it reminded me of something that I see a lot during the winter. Do you see that toboggan? Do you have something that looks similar that you use in the snow? A sled, yeah. Toboggans were used to help pull things and loads over the snow. And they were really great because they helped keep the snow off of the things. And maybe you have a sled or a toboggan that's similar. You can ride through the snow and the snow gets kind of pushed aside and you get to cut right through it. I thought that was pretty cool. And so in transportation, there's a lot more information about things and inventions that Native Americans or Indigenous people have. Now, this other book here is all about notable Native people. That means people from the recent past or present who are doing really important work. It is all about Indigenous leaders, dreamers, and change makers. And it is by Adrienne King. And it is a really big book. I'd recommend that you check this out from your library or your bookstore and read it with your family. Maybe take a turn reading one page each night. There are so many people in this book to learn about. And I just wanted to highlight a few of them. So we'll start here with Tommy Orange. He was born in 1982, not too long ago, and he is an author. He grew up in Oakland, California, and he wrote a book called There, There. Now, this is a good book for folks who are in high school or a little bit older, but it really helped people understand a bit more about urban Native communities like the one he grew up in. And There, There has gotten a ton of recognition and awards for being a really important, really enlightening or eye-opening book for many, many people. It really helped them learn a lot and understand even just a bit about his story and a story that's pretty common for some Native people. And so Tommy Orange is definitely an author to pay attention to, learn more about, and maybe, if your grown-ups are curious, read his book. Here is Bobby Jean Three Legs, and she was born in 1992, even more recently, and she's an environmental activist. And I'm going to read just a little bit about her work. It says, in March 2016, at the age of 23, Bobby Jean Three Legs found out about the potential impacts of the 1,200-mile pipeline called the Dakota Access Pipeline, or DAPL, on her community's land and water. And she was compelled to fight, so she's participating in trying to stop this from happening. She's fighting to protect her land and her water. With the guidance of her family, she planned an 11.1-mile youth run to raise awareness about DAPL, and she invited the community to participate by going door to door in her small town in South Dakota on the Standing Rock Preservation. And so not only is she involved in trying to help protect the water and the land, she's getting other people involved and asking them to participate too. She is a real inspiration to me, someone who cares deeply about our environment, and maybe she might inspire you as well. So check out more about Bobby Jean Three Legs. Last but not least, Frank Waln. He was born in 1989, so not too long ago. And he is a musician, a rapper, and a community advocate. That means he works to take care of his community and talks about and sings about and writes about all of the things that may not be going so well and the things that may be going really well, and trying to get people involved. Through his music and community advocacy, Lakota rapper and musician Frank Waln brings attention not only to the ways that Native people continue to be mistreated and harmed by colonization, but also to the power and resilience of Indigenous people. Just like we talked about how many Indigenous people have persisted, kept going, persevered, didn't quit or give up. Resilience is another way to say that. And he has lots of beats and hip-hop songs that represent and share his story and the story of other Indigenous people. So definitely check him out, especially with your grown-ups too. As I said, there are so many people to learn about in this book. So grab it from your library or your bookstore and be sure to get through each page. And our final book is about some of the practices and actually includes some poems from different tribes and Indigenous people groups across North America. And I love this book because we've also been talking a bit about gratitude this month, and it is called The Circle of Thanks, Native American Poems and Songs of Thanksgiving. It's told by Joseph Burek, with pictures by Merv Jacob. And I've marked just a few poems to share with you, but this whole book is a really beautiful reminder of how we can practice gratitude and being thankful for everything that is around us. Here's the first one. The Circle of Thanks. As I play my drum, I look around me and I see the trees. The trees are dancing in a circle about me, and they are beautiful. As I play my drum, I look around me and I see the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon are dancing in a circle about me, and they are beautiful. As I play my drum, I look around me and I see the stars. The stars are dancing in a circle about me, and they are beautiful. As I play my drum, I look around me and I see my people. All my people are dancing in a circle about me, and my people, they are beautiful. And this was written by someone from the Mi'kmaq tribe on the northeast coast. So the northeast coast would be up by New Hampshire and Maine and Massachusetts, the area that you may know as that. I love this as a starting poem to really set the stage for the rest. And this I thought was a great connection about some of the inventions I learned from this book. How Medicine Came. Long ago, the animals and the birds, the fish and insects and plants could all talk. They lived with the people in peace and friendship. Then the people invented bows and blowguns and spears. They began to kill the animals and birds and fish for their flesh and their skins. The animals then joined together. They invented diseases to weaken the people. The plants remained friendly to the people. Each tree and shrub and herb agreed to offer a cure for each new disease. Each said, "When I am called upon, I shall help the humans in their need." So it is that the plants gave us medicine. So it is that we must be thankful to them. That was written by someone from the Cherokee tribe in the southeast. And last but not least, one to inspire us for the rest of the day. Song to the Dancing Stars. Look as they arise. Look as those stars rise. There, over the line, where the earth meets the sky. Those star dancers, they rise up together. Look as they rise up, how they come to guide us. They lead us safely. They keep us as one. Dancing stars, we watch you as you rise. Teach us to be like you, united. And that was written by someone in the Pawnee Nation, and that is in the southern plains, so areas like North Texas and Oklahoma. And I love this message here, that stars can teach us to be like them, united. That means working together, being like one. Even though they are different, they work together peacefully and they become visible in the sky together, and they're there all the time, even when we can't see them, united. And so I really hope that that message helps send you on your way today, that you may be united with the people around you, and that I may be united with the people around me. Before we go off on our separate ways, let's take our mindful moment today, where we practice being present and focusing on just one thing. Being present means we try not to fill our mind with other thoughts or things that we need to do or ideas that we have. We try to give it one job to focus on, one thing to do really carefully and well, just for a short time. If you can't practice a mindful moment for the entire time yet, that's okay. You can try it. And then if your mind wanders, you can try again. That's what's really cool about being mindful, is it's something that we can practice. Today, our mindful moment is all about looking and using our eyes. And just like nature has inspired so many Indigenous and Native American people, I thought we could look for nature. Maybe you have some things in your home that are a part of nature. Maybe you're near a window and you can peek outside. Maybe you can step outside. That'd be great too. We're going to look for 1 minute and see what we notice that is nature. What colors are they? Let's take 1 minute to notice. What are some things you noticed? Some plants, flowers, rocks. Maybe some of you heard birds out your window. I have some flowers that I've dried, and they are yellow. And so I noticed those yellow flowers. And as I continued to look around, I found some seeds that I had saved from my garden this year. Anything else that you noticed during your mindful moment? Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do that. Friends, please remember to like and subscribe, and please remember to make it a great day. I'm sending you off with some love if you'd like it, a hug if you want it, and I hope you join me next time.